tire on. And I'm going to just go over the tray setup first. So if you want to follow along on 3. So everything should be set up in the order of use. For a right-handed operator, you're going to be as close to the operator as possible with everything working out. I want you to utilize the whole tray with all the materials. And again, these should be the order of use. So first of all, we're going to do Mirrored Explorer, cotton plier. Notice I have another cotton plier just set aside. This is for retrieving anything I would need to. So if I needed something from the drawer, instead of going in or over gloving, I would just go ahead and retrieve it with that. That's what my sterile forceps is for. Okay, then plastic instrument, what's that used for?
To invert.
Invert the rubber dam. Yep, and then we would remove decay. So you're going to have set on your high speed 56. On your low speed, what burr? 4. Yep. And then you'll have the spoon excavator ready. And then you're going to have your off angle or hatchet. And this is the angled one. Okay, so it'll look just like this. I wanted to look this up because I know your tubs were a little different in describing this one. Okay. Generally, this is 2. There's a mesial and a distal for these. We'll just have 1. Okay, this is the example here. Okay, the next one, you might not have this exact. This is called an IPC. This is an interproximal carver.
Yes.
I don't think your kits have that, but you'll probably run into this in practice. Okay, and then we've got our carrier. Then there are 2 different condensers. Any idea why we have 2 different condensers?
So you
see, yep, exactly, size. So you're going to start in your box with the very smallest because that's the most critical part of the amalgam is the base of the box. So you'll start with that, then you'll build up and go to the different sizes. Now keep in mind there's a couple different amalgams. Remember when we saw the video? There's dispersalloy, which are spherical, and actually that dispersalloy is a non-spherical, and that's what we use. So this one needs a little bit more positive condensation, where the spherical kind of squishes into place. Totally a different feel with the material. All right, then our first step in carving is using our egg burnisher. Then, and then we need our Tafelmeyer. So what I'll do is I'll give you a tooth number, and everything that you set up has to go to that tooth number. So we're doing number 4, so this is all set for 4. So these are things that you'll need to practice away from here just to get comfortable. All right, then we've got all our carvers. Remember my little cheat sheets for these carvers?
Yeah.
Okay, which is the walls 1? One-sided, yep. And the walls 3, yeah, it has the 3 sides. And then cleoid and discoid, yep. Good, nice job. All right, then I've got my anesthetic set up for maxillary, so again, number 2. And then I've got my rubber dam. I'm going to use W8 or W8A, depending on what you have. I wrap mine a little different, so don't feel you have to do this, but I've worked with these a lot, and sometimes they break, so if it breaks, you just want to make sure that, and that's why when you put the dam on, I always have the assistant hang on to this end, because if it drops off, you can just pull it. Yep, it's kind of a safety feature. All right, then I have my medicaments. Oh, I forgot my, can you grab the Dical? Yep, and that'll be operator's preference. I want you to put both Dical out as well as Vitribot, okay? Yep, just grab. All right, so I'm going to start by punching the rubber dam. A lot of you have already had rubber dam. So I like to do it with the frame on. So I'm going to go down to the length of this, and then I'm going to use this as my guideline. Now just keep in mind for your evals, you can't use a pen. So the quicker you kind of find some landmarks or find some references, it'll help you. So I'm going to do central, central, lateral. I'm going to start curving at my canine, premolar, and unfortunately I don't have a ideal punch, so I'm using the same one. You're going to use the different holes for yours. So that's what it's going to look like, okay? All right, so we are ready to start the procedure. So